how much we suffered because of what did not happen, but could only happen. The honesty of people does not increase with their wealth. Never buy a thing seduced by its cheapness. Such a thing, in the long run, will cost you dearly. I do not take a single paper, nor read one a month, and I feel infinitely happier for it. I do not bite at the bait of pleasure, till you know there is no hook beneath it. Honesty is the first chapter of the book of wisdom. The man who reads nothing at all is better educated than the man who reads nothing but newspapers. The most valuable of all talents is that of never using two words when one will do. I'm a greater believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. Act. Action will delineate and define you. History, in general, only informs us what bad government is. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. The whole art of government consists in the art of being honest. I would rather be exposed to the inconveniences attending too much liberty than to those attending too small a degree of it. I think one travels more usefully when they travel alone, because they reflect more. I was bold in the pursuit of knowledge, never fearing to follow truth and reason to whatever results they led. To compel a man to furnish funds for the propagation of ideas he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical. Tyranny is defined as that which is legal for the government but illegal for the citizenry. I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Every day is lost in which we do not learn something useful. Man has no nobler or more valuable possession than time. Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost. I hold it that a little rebellion now and then is a good thing, and as necessary in the political world as storms in the physical. Banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. Be polite to all. Be intimate with few. The natural progress of things is for liberty to yield and for the government to gain ground. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. He who permits himself to tell a lie once finds it much easier to do it the second time. The only security of all is in the free press. I have no ambition to govern men. It is a painful and thankless office. It is error alone which needs the support of the government. Truth can stand by itself. Commerce with all nations, alliance with none, should be our motto. An honest man can feel no pleasure in the exercise of power over his fellow citizens. Pride costs us more than hunger, thirst, and cold. The dead should not rule the living. An enemy generally says and believes what he wishes. It is reasonable that everyone who asks justice should do justice. He who knows best knows how little he knows. Don't try to do more good than people can handle. He who gives up his freedom for security receives neither. Dissent is the highest form of patriotism. Saving on advertising is like stopping a clock to save time. I am convinced that the soul of every person rejoices when he does good to another. Don't spend money you don't have. If you are angry, mentally count to 10 before you speak. If you are very angry, count to 100. Laws are written for ordinary people, so they must be based on ordinary rules of common sense. Laws must go hand in hand with the progress of the human soul. The tree of freedom needs to be watered from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. This is natural fertilizer for it. The sermon should be our lives, not our words. Nothing gives more advantages over others than the ability to remain calm and cool in any situation. Constant vigilance is the price of freedom. For the most part, people are more inclined to suffer than to fight to remove the cause of suffering. There is nothing more unequal than the equal treatment of unequal people. The profession of a lawyer consists in questioning everything, disagreeing with everything, and talking endlessly. Only two people will tell the truth about you, your mother and your enemy. In matters of style, go with the flow. In matters of principle, stand firm as a rock. A coward is much more likely to seek quarrels than a man of courage. For the selfish spirit of commerce, there is no homeland, no feelings, no principles, only profit.